Let's take a quick look at the components of the Supervised Diver program and what goes into it. What you're going to see is, number one, we actually have the Z float, the ZUBA float, and that'll actually break out into a bag that I'm going to show you how to inflate and everything. So one, you need the Z float. The next is you need one or two 20-foot, 6-meter hoses. And you'll notice that we're going to talk about these hoses, but these hoses will also be your tether that will tether you to the ZUBA float, or your kid to the ZUBA float, or your student to the ZUBA float. We'll talk about that. Of course, you're going to need the materials. So that way you can go through the materials and make sure that you understand everything that's in the materials, as well as if you're the consumer, if you're the diver, you want a wall frame or keep the certificate. It is removable so that you have a certificate that you're able to continue to do supervised dives without the supervision, with the supervision instructor, but without having to redo the class. You're going to have a ZUBA flag, or a flag that shows that this is a diving thing on the surface, a diving float, that there's a scuba diver below. So the flag will integrate into the bag. You're going to need, obviously, the second stages, the regulators that you will breathe off of. These regulators obviously are what interfaces with the diver and provides the air to the diver. On those, you're going to want some kind of a U-joint or a 90-degree joint. What's nice about this is it makes the hose very comfortable in the way it lays on you. Okay, so you're going to see that. You're going to, of course, want some bolt snaps that attach to the hoses that will attach to both the diver and to the actual Z float. You're going to want, obviously, a first stage. This first stage connects to the scuba cylinder. So you're going to want a scuba cylinder that you can rent anywhere in the world, and or your own cylinder so that you can dive with. And this first stage obviously connects to that, connects to the hoses, connects to the second stage, which I'll show you later. You'll also notice on that first stage you're going to want to have an SPG. The SPG also stands for pressure gauge that's submersible pressure gauge, SPG, that shows you how much gas you have in your tank. You're going to want a little LP, low pressure inflator, that helps you inflate the pontoons on the Z float, which we're going to show you. You're going to want to have some kind of a rash guard, exposure suit for the water. So you can have 1 mil suit, 2 mil suit, spring suit, 3 mil, 4 mil, whatever, neoprene, or just some kind of rash guard like this. Of course, you're going to want your standard stuff like fins, a mask. Those are all pretty normal stuff. And of course, if you've got fins with heels, you're going to want booties. That's all cool stuff. The only thing that's optional in supervised diving is this, what we call Z-Trim BCD. It's actually a true scuba diving buoyancy compensating device. Although you will not be doing it or using it as a buoyancy compensator underwater, you'll be using it as a flotation device for entries, exits, and while you're on the surface. Now keep in mind, the Z float can float a person sitting on it. It has that much lift. So you have that nearby. It's only within 20 feet, 6 meters. But you also have this very low profile, super streamlined flotation device that's orally inflatable. You just breathe right into that tube. And that will provide 20 pounds, 9 kilos of lift. It'll lift you out this far out on the water. Your head will be sticking out. You'll be like, whoa, plenty of gas. When you want to go under, you let the air out. So it's kind of like a life jacket that's releasable. So you can release the gas, and down you go. So underwater, this will be missing in action. It will be flat. What you will notice is attachment points. This is where the hose tethers to you. There's a D-ring that the hose tethers to you. And you can attach the hose there or on the hip, and then the hose comes to your mouth. I'm going to show you that configuration. If you're not wearing this, what I love about this Z-Trim, just to go back really quick, what I love about this Z-Trim is one size fits all. This particular unit that you see here will fit an 8-year-old kid, a 9-year-old kid, a 15-year-old kid, you know, a person like me, I'm 6'5", all the way down to a little boy. The same system fits, one size fits all. So what's really cool is it's easy to, you know, to have in inventory 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 for your customers. Or if you're the diver going to a resort, you can just get one of these and put these on, and it's 10 times safer. Now, keep in mind this is optional in the supervised program, but it makes it much, much safer, because now when you're waiting for the boat to come pick you up, this helps you float. Now, if you don't have one of these, if these are not accessible, you will need a weight belt or a belt. We call this the Z mini harness, and basically it does almost exactly the same thing. It just goes around your waist, as you can see, and now what it does is it puts that D-ring in the center of your back. So when you're frog kicking or flutter kicking, the hoses go up to the surface between your legs. Also allows us to attach the weight belts or the weight pockets. These are ditchable, and they do attach to the harness. So the idea would be is you cannot sink. Most people cannot sink without weight. So you attach it, and you can put 5 pounds, 2 kilos, whatever it is, and now you have weight, you have attachment, and if something goes wrong, you can always just ditch the weight, and the weight drops out, and then you're floating. So this, is the recommendation if you don't have a flotation device or buoyancy compensating the Z. What's nice about the Z system is the weights also attach to the Z system and will attach to the top, giving you better trim in the water as well, putting you nice and flat, because you don't want to be walking on the reef and standing on the reef and kneeling on the reef and all the nonsense. Get off the reef, get off your knees. Really important. You want to be off the reef and swimming along. Most important. Alright, so that's the general overview of the Supervised. Go ahead and click any one of those dots now to get more specific about the equipment.